Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. It's Friday afternoon. What a week. So many comments, so much busyness on this channel, so much stuff going on, and we're gonna just end this afternoon. I might do a live stream later tonight, but today we're gonna end this with a story about Ellen DeGeneres, because I started covering it a few days ago and things are sort of developing fast and furiously, and it's interesting because yesterday, Ellen DeGeneres comes out and basically apologizes to her staff after there was this humongous thing that came out from BuzzFeed where people were making a lot of very big allegations about toxicness in the work environment. There's been people that have been coming out that know her personally, that worked on set, the place being just not a good place to work. There's been all kinds of things about her not being nice, being kind of mean, not looking people in the face we did yesterday. I did a video about this guy in Australia who was the executive at the Today Show in Australia, Today Show, NBC, and how when they did an interview with her, they basically wouldn't even let him look her in the face or talk to her before the interview. I mean, imagine that. So she had not said a word until Warner announced that there was going to be an investigation into the allegations that came out of the BuzzFeed article from a few weeks ago. So they announced that they're going to be doing this workplace investigation to determine what's going on behind the scenes. Why are things as bad as they are? Are these claims that have been made by these former colleagues and former staffers credible? Is this really what it is? Are people just blowing smoke? And Ellen had basically said nothing. You had all these other celebrities that have known her basically saying, yeah, she's not the nicest person. She's actually super mean. There was this whole Twitter feed of people sharing stories of her atrocious behavior. I even uncovered a 2018 article where they talked about how she's not as nice as she is on the TV. And I even gave her a little bit of sympathy saying, it might be hard to sort of play up to this image of being really nice when you're not the nicest person to protect a brand. Now, yesterday, after I did that video, she made an apology. And when I saw the apology, I was like, whoa, I'm going to read it to you and we're going to dissect it. And then I'm going to tell you about what happened since this apology was made. So she releases an internal memo addressing the toxicness in the workplace. And this is what she wrote to her employees. This was first reported by The Hollywood Reporter. Hey everyone, it's Ellen. On day one of our show, I told everyone in our first meeting that the Ellen DeGeneres show would be a place of happiness. No one would ever raise their voice and everyone would be treated with respect. Obviously, something changed and I'm disappointed to learn that this has not been the case, and for that I am sorry. Anyone who knows me knows it's the opposite of what I believe and what I'd hoped for the show. I could not have the success I had without all of your contributions. My name is on the show and everything we do, and I take full responsibility for that. Alongside Warner Brothers, we immediately began an internal investigation, and we are taking steps together to correct the issues. As we've grown exponentially, I've not been able to stay on top of everything and relied on others to do their jobs as they knew I'd want them done. Clearly, some didn't. That will now change, and I'm committed to ensuring that this does not happen again. I'm also learning that some people who work with me and for me are speaking on my behalf and misrepresenting who I am, and that has to stop. As someone who has judged and nearly lost everything for just being who I am, I truly understand and have deep compassion for those being looked at differently or treated unfairly, not equal, or worse, disregarded. To think that any of you felt that way is awful to me. It's been way too long, but we are finally having conversations about fairness and justice. We all have to be more mindful about the way our words and actions affect others, and I'm glad the issues at our show were brought to my attention. I promise to do my part in continuing to push myself and everyone around to learn and grow. It's important to me and to Warner Brothers that everyone who has something to say can speak up and feel safe doing so. I'm so proud of the work we do and the fun that we'll have together. I want everyone at home and love and blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry we didn't have that for your experiences. If it wasn't for the pandemic, I'd tell you this in person. So she basically says P.S. I guess what you're saying about this place is true, but it's not my fault. It's my producer's fault. It's the executives that are running the show. It's their fault. See, they're speaking for me. I never said those things. That's the impression I got from it, really. I mean, it seemed as though she didn't address the allegations about refusing to look people in the face, refusing to talk to people, not having any sort of communication with staff outside of the executives, not even like talking to people, being rude to guests, being cold and being distant. I mean, I understand maybe she's like a busy woman and she just shows up at the office to do her job, and she's one of those actors that has to stay in character. You know what I mean? Like when you're super focused, there's those like actors that are like, do not talk to me, don't look at me, don't distract me from the role I'm playing. You know what I mean? But then at the same time, it is your show, Ellen. So why are you apologizing for other people but not apologizing for yourself? And why aren't you apologizing for not speaking to anyone? Like, how hard would it have been to just like acknowledge the people that are working for you to make your show great? I would imagine that if I was in an environment like that, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that actually will say like, hey, you know, she's not like this is wrong. But then an article came out today by BuzzFeed. And then I was like, whoa, what is going on here? So BuzzFeed puts out this article, and 36 people, even people that had high up positions at the Ellen Show, basically are claiming that there are producers on this show that are using sort of the casting couch, if you know what I mean, and using their authority in order to get favors or proposition people for favors through the casting couch, getting handsy, being a little gropey, making comments that are highly inappropriate. And they called out a few of the producers for doing this, one of which denied completely and said that's not true. I've never even had a thing with human resources. This is all fake and phony and I didn't do it. Actually, both denied it. But 36 people. In total, I think that's 49 people that BuzzFeed talked to, alleging things from racism to the casting couch on set. And then she basically just says, well, I'm sorry that the people I hired are doing what they're doing and I didn't do a good enough job and they were speaking for me. When you have a job and you're the boss, why aren't you speaking to your people? Like, why aren't you talking to people? Why are you so above people? That's what I can't understand. Now, Brad Garrett, who is from Everybody Loves Raymond, he actually called her out on Twitter. And he said, sorry, but it comes from the top at the Ellen Show, no more than one who were treated horribly by her. Common knowledge, DeGeneres sends emotional apology to staff. Variety. Okay, so Brad Garrett has his own stuff in he's made some comments that are, but you know, this is another comedian high up that likely knows her, and he's saying it comes from the top. And I agree, it 100% comes from the top. You can't blame people for speaking for you when you're literally allowing them to speak for you and then not address the fact that you didn't let people look at you or talk to you. That's weird. I don't get these people that won't look or talk to people. Anyways, so then apparently after this comes out, the staffers that hear this, now this is coming from the Daily Fail and the Daily Mail. I mean, just kidding. And they say the staff was really mad at her for putting this all on them and not on her, and that they feel like she's being super fake, super phony, and this is like a bad apology. Apparently because they're mad at her for the apology, now she wants to quit. Now this is all coming from the Daily Mail. But you know, they're saying like, you can't blame us when you're literally the top person here. You can kind of blame them, especially if that behavior with the casting couch was going on. But how are you so naive to what's going on, Ellen, that you don't know this is going on around you? How do you not know these jokes are happening? How do you not know these conversations are not happening? How are you so aloof and so indifferent? Unless you just don't want to admit that this stuff is happening, or you just don't care. I can't tell here. But the fact that it took her all of these months to say something and she's not even acknowledging what she's herself been accused of, I can't even. So she's basically wants to quit according to the Daily Fail. Take that with a grain of salt. She says that things are going to get better. Warner Brothers says things are going to get better. Warner Brothers actually said, they told People magazine this. They said that they had interviewed current and former employees about the environment of the show, and they were disappointed at the primary findings of the investigation. because it indicated that there were deficiencies related to the show's day-to-day management. Basically saying the managers, the producers suck. And then they're saying that they've identified several staffing changes along with appropriate measures to address the issues they have been raised and are taking first steps to implement them. Basically saying they're going to be firing a bunch of the producers. That's what my guess is. And Warner Brothers and Ellen DeGeneres are committed to ensuring a workplace based on respect and inclusion. We are confident this course of action will lead to us the right way forward for the show. So I'm wondering what Warner Brothers is going to tell Ellen, like what she has to do and what her, like, because she made it seem like she opened the investigation. Warner Brothers didn't necessarily say, I mean, they're not going to fire her, but now she's saying she wants to quit the show, and I don't know. How do you come back from this? Like, how does Ellen come back from this and go onto the show and like tape new content and like just avoid all of this scandal? How do you go back to being like the bubbly, dancing, nerdy lady that's like, yeah, we're going to give away a car. You know what I mean? I'm lost here. So tell me what your thoughts are. Will she quit? What about her apology? Was that the worst apology you've ever heard? Is it her responsibility to speak for herself, or is it right for her to blame her employees? What about the allegations from BuzzFeed and these new ones about the casting couch? What do you think about all of this, and how does she recover? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.